Let us now take another affix in this same section of the Chila Tadharma Sadhukarishu. This affix is the affix Ra, which is prescribed by the Sutram 32167, which is Nami Kampi Smya Jasa Kama Himsa Deepo Raha. Vritti is also very simple. It says that Ebhyo Raha Syat Tachiladishu Kartashu, meaning that to denote an agent who performs an action because of his nature or habit or sense of duty or family tradition or because of his skill, because he's good at it. The affix ra may be used following any one of the verbal roots listed below, and they are as follows. The first one is nam, which is in the dhatu part has nama pravhatve shabde cha. Of course, we know that the beginning nakara of this verbal root takes the nakara deshaha by the sutram 6165 no naha. The second verbal root is kamp, which is kapi chalane in the bhavadi ganaha. Now, the ikara at the end of this verbal root is a it by upadesh jananasika it, and that triggers the numagamaha by 7158 idito num dhato. So that's how we get kamp. The third verbal root is smi, which in the dhatu partha is shming isha dhasane, means to smile. The fourth one is jas, which is jasu mokshane, in the divadi ganaha. But in the sutram pani it says ajasa. So what that means is that in order to apply this affix ra, we have to have a compound with the negation particle nyai. Now in this nyai, the ending nyakara is it bahalantyam and it takes tasya lopaha. Then what happens is that the beginning nakaraha of nyai is elided by the sutram na lopo nanyaha, which is 6373. Which is sutram which we have not studied so far. We'll study it when we study compounds. But in this sutram, Pani says ajasa. So this affix ra may only be used as long as there is compounding with this negation particle nai, which after anubandha lopaha and after applying 6373 is simply akaraha. So we get the form ajasra pratipadikam. And the Siddhanta Kaumudi says jasir nyai purvaha kriya satat vartate. So ajasra pratipadikam, which stands for continuity of action which is done uninterruptedly done action is what is meant by ajasra, the pratipadikam ajasra. Now the fifth verbal root is kam, which is kamukantau. The sixth one is hims, which is hisi himsayam. Here also the ending of ikara. The ending ikara is it by upadesh jananasiket lopaha, and that triggers the numagamaha 7158 idito num dhatoh. So we get hims. And then the seventh one is deep, which is deepi deeptau in the divadi ganaha. So very simple sutram. And the derivation, let's take one example, which is the first verbal root, which is nam. Namati tachilaha tadharma sadhukari. So one who bows down, namati, as his nature or habit, or he does it as his duty, as his family tradition, or he's good at being that way. So it's one who's basically humble, namraha, one who's habitually bows down. Now, the derivation is nothing there at all. We add this affix ra using the Sutram 32167 because Panini specifically mentioned this verbal root nami in this Sutram. So therefore we add this affix ra in this meaning of the Chila Tadharma Tatsadhukarishu, and then we get the form namra. Also note that the affix ra begins with a letter of the Vash Pratyaharaha, and therefore Ned Vashikriti 7 to 8. Ned Vashikriti stops the augment it. So this affix ra cannot take the augment it because it has the Krit Sanya, and it also begins with the letter of the Vash Pratyahara. The Refa belongs to the Vash Pratyahara. So Ned Vashikriti stops the Ragamaha, and actually in this case Nam is also Anudat Upadesha, so that will also stop the Ragamaha. But regardless, since the affix ra begins with the letter of the Vash Pratyahara, it's a Krit Pratyaha, so 7 to 8 will always stop the Ragamaha for this particular affix. So that's the note over here. There's no question of the affix ra taking the augment it, which would have been possible potentially by 7 to 35, Ardhataka Sied Balade He, but Ned Vashikriti 7 to 8 prevents this affix from taking the augment it. Namra gets the Pratipadika Sanya by Krit, Tadita Samasascha 1 to 46. Its adjectival form declined in all three genders. Pullinge Prathama Ekvachanam is Namraha. It declined like Rama Shabdaha. Pullinge Prathama Ekvachanam is Namraha. Similarly, in the case of the other verbal roots, we get the following forms. If we use Kamp, we get Kampra Pratipadikam. If we use Sme, we get Smera Pratipadikam. If we use Jas with the negation Nyai, we get Ajasra as a Pratipadikam. If we use Kam, we get Kamra. From Hims, we get Himsra. And from Deep, we get Deepra. These are quite common forms. So this is an important sutram 3 to 167, which prescribes this affix ra following the 7 verbal roots in the meaning of Tachila Tadharma Sadhukarisho.